right, well, my name is Edouard. I'm actually the co-owner, co-founder of Flox Customs LLC. And Flox Customs actually consists of three people. It's me, my wife, Anissa, and Antoine. I'm actually originally from Boston, hence my Boston Red Sox hat.
Nice.
Born and raised in Boston. Came out to Arizona in 2005. Yeah.
That's cool. What brought you out to Arizona?
Well, what brought me out was that I came out here when I was young, like towards the end of my sophomore year of high school. I was recruited to play football at a private high school called Phoenix Christian High School. So I am a private school kid, and most people don't know that as well. Yeah, definitely. Ever since I was playing, I was a multi-athlete. I ran track, played tennis, played basketball, football. And within each one, I actually like wearing kind of socks, athletic socks. So that really did transition into what I'll be wearing during, my casual days. I definitely transition into socks. Well, actually, I don't, it's, how can I put this? I'm a competitor, and, after I was done with football, I was like, what can I compete in? What can give me that kind of validation, to build something? So I always had a creative idea in mind that I wanted to create something. So after football, or just playing sports in general, I just wanted to come up with something that enhanced my creative ability. So it could have been in anything, not just socks, it could have been in any business, which I am a serial entrepreneur, which I tried in different ventures. So it's whatever I had in mind, it was going to happen. Well, I actually used to sell insurance. I sold life insurance for a company which had like that pyramid concept. Everybody calls it the pyramid scheme and they're afraid of it, but I always believed in anything that I've done. So if there was a product that I like, I can sell. So life insurance was something big that was just important for everybody to have. So I sold life insurance for about like a year and a half. And then that was like the first idea of, the entrepreneur side. Well, it was the idea of like that bug in my head I had, or my ear. I always was infatuated with people that actually had businesses. Like, this is a nice little pyramid concept, which is not a scheme. I believed in it, but I always were like, interested to know what it's like to be at the top, like what it took for him to create this concept and to have people believe in the concept. And I thought I was a genius, So it gave me that bug, and I always had that itch, and I felt like I needed to start something of my own. What it was like to start from the bottom, how to build something from scratch. And once I had that itch, I just couldn't let it go. So that gave me the motivation to start my own business. I didn't know what it was, but I wanted to start my own business. Well, I had the interest, like I kept buying socks. One of my things was like, when I played basketball, I like to wear funky socks. And I read something somewhere, it was like, everyone and anybody can start a business. And all you need is an idea, but the idea is all around you. You just got to really look to see what's around you. And my mind started expanding, so I was like, okay, well, what is the first thing? What is the thing that stands out to me the most? So I started looking into my room. I was in this one little bedroom, paying rent with with this guy that I was living with. And in this little room, I just like basically broke my whole room down. And then I saw that I had a whole drawer full of socks. Funky socks. And I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a shot. And that's how that came about. But yeah, it was a journey. Well, it came down to being like, how can I be different from these other sock companies? And I didn't do any kind of research out there. I was just like, I just knew that all these socks. I bought a lot of dress socks as well. But what would make me different? What would make me different from my competitors? So I saw that, one thing about me is that being from Boston, I love history, and history's in our backyard. So I was like, okay, I want to tell people about their history. I want to tell people their story. I like the service part of things. So I wanted to find the flags and the country, the state, and tell people about that. Also with the athletic side of it. So it has a cool little meaning behind it. Well, yes, actually. So Flox is Flox, and the breakdown of Flox is the FL stands for like flags, and the OX I took from like the Red Sox, being from Boston, and merged the two. So I wanted to kind of bring that unique meaning behind it. So flag socks. But yeah, that's how it came about. My memories, it's actually, and like I said, I love people. So this is why I started it, because it was a little garment that brought the joy out of people. So I love the people that I met, actually. It's a great conversation starter. When people will come up to you like, hey, what do you do? Like I run a sock company, and they look at me like I'm weird. But guess what? They actually wanted to have a conversation. Like, what do you mean socks? What kind of socks? So it was just a conversation starter. So I met so many people through this business and made so many friendships and everlasting friendships with these people. So yeah, that's how, what the socks brought to me and brought in my life. Yeah. Well, being that I don't come from any entrepreneur or business background, I remember telling my wife, like, I wanted to start a business. I think I have an idea. And I don't think she was on board yet, because I didn't have a concrete foundation how to start the business. But I was going to school at that time. I was getting my bachelor's degree in public administration. I was heading towards that path of being either a service member, serving the community. But as I was going to school, I had some loans. I had about $3,000 just sitting around. Basically that $3,000 helped me survive. I remember, thinking about this money. I'm like, oh my, like this is all I have. What if I throw it all in this business? This is it. So I was freaking out about that. But I remember taking my $3,000, finding out the LLC, like where to go. I remember going online, how to find an LLC. And then I started off from there. Now, I paid a whole lot of money for LLC. I didn't know at that time, I did not know there was a cheaper route. But man, I probably came out of like $400 easily. So that made me freak out already. So from the loans that I received, I started off the business with that, and then getting the material. Now I got to go and create a sample. So that alone, and then to get the inventory. And within that $3,000, that's just how I started a business. Well, first thing I went was Google and look up different manufacturers. And I was looking for a manufacturer in the U.S., went through them, spent a lot of money on samples. $70 here and there, 50, whatever, 100, and then I kept looking up more manufacturers. Then I saw a website called Alibaba.com. And I was like, what is Alibaba? And I realized there was all these manufacturers overseas. I'm like, oh, man. Now I'm panicking. I'm like, how can you trust a business overseas? But you know what, man, I took that risk and asked for the material. I didn't know what kind of material I needed. The sock companies that I was a fan of, I just kind of looked at what they were doing and kind of just guessed and tried to come up with blends. And I asked the manufacturers overseas to come up with a certain blend. But I started off with 100% cotton first, but that's how I went. I went to Alibaba.com, asked for samples of what they've done, and then just started off from there. Then I hit a roadblock, and it was probably the most difficult time that I've ever faced. I was actually, we're talking about adversities here, so and how it shaped me. So I remember, so I was getting married that year, and then I remember being let go from one of my jobs at the same time. So this is like in February. So I found another job, right? And I was in training. I was let go in that training, like probably a month in. And then as I'm running the business at the same time, my manufacturers decided to screw me over with some defects. So I probably had like 3 orders, and they screwed me over big time, back to back. So I was refunding money that I didn't have because what I was doing with my money was that I was actually rebranding the business. I was putting money towards marketing, branding the business, coming up with different designs. I had this like big vision. I was going big. So I was putting it back into the business. So I was losing that. I lost that side of it. On top of that, I was getting married. So then you could think about a marriage alone. It's expensive, right? So I was doing that. But, so I had to really kind of, sit down and think about what I'm doing. So I stopped the business because the marriage is important. Been planning this for about 3 years, and God bless the wife, she's patient with me. So I really appreciate her perseverance and her love through this whole process. So I stopped the business. And once you stop, you lose the fire, So what happens after the business, while I stopped the business, I found another job. I was selling insurance again with a major company. And this peak season's coming up. And after the wedding, I got fired again. I got fired again in December, right after my birthday. So I said, what am I going to do now? Now I'm unemployed. I have no business. There's no income. So I really put everything to a pause and I said, you know what? I'm going to learn through this whole process. And I found God even more through the process. Because it was a time of reflection. I had to really think about what was happening. And I started laughing through the whole process. Like after a while, I said, this is that time. I have to come out of this, but it's only in His will that I can come out of it, right? So it really made me think about my life in a different way. And I felt this feeling that things were going to be all right. So I knew for a fact that, and it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's my struggle, but I knew for a fact that things were going to be okay because I seen the story. I read about stories like this. So I just knew like I was getting prepared for something greater. So how it shaped me, I feel like I'm a stronger person today. I know what it's like to lose something. I know what it's like to have your back against the wall. And I'm still going through it. There's so many things that is happening in my life right now as we speak. Struggle is happening. I mean, I let go of a second job. I was working for a part-time for 10 years. Working my weekends. So working 7 days a week for 10 years. So I had to let that go to chase my dream. So I'm still going through battles and, just obstacles. But I know I will overcome through it because I have that sense of feeling that everything is going to be all right. So. Well, I kept getting reminded that Flox was something big. Most of my friends that I kept popping into every now and then I ran into them out in the streets, maybe at the grocery stores or at my work, working security as a bouncer. And it kept reminding me, hey, you actually had something going on. I didn't believe them. Antoine was actually one of them as well. He's working security with me. And he said the same thing. He's like, if I were you, I'll bring it back. There's no one out there really doing what you're doing. Especially in the Southwest Valley. I know who my competitors are, and they're doing great work. But ever watching them for many years, there was not another company that was coming up and doing the same thing. But it took me a while. I pondered about it for a year. And then something told me, hey, you have something here. Give it a try. You messed up. You learn from your failures. You can get back and do it again. And I felt the energy. I felt that ball of fire come back. And it was a good feeling. It was better than the first time. Because I've learned I'm not afraid anymore. I said, it's that time. If it's the right time, it's now. And so I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to do it. And I'm enjoying the process every step of the way. So this is actually fun now. Yeah. So my future, so here's my journey here right now is that I'm trying to build a team. I'm still looking for people. I want to have like a nice little office. I work out of home. So all of this, everything that I'm doing is from my office at home. So I'm looking to build a nice little office, have a team of people, designers, which I'm in the process of finding right now. So I can actually turn this into a big ship. I really want to get this thing going, and I feel like it's coming. So I want to be able to be have this business in the Southwest region to build this empire to provide for a lot of things out there. Like I was mentioning, I'm a man of service. So I see the bigger picture of everything that I do. It's not just a business. This is a bigger purpose for me. It's to provide for other things, to, build schools and build water wells and then help other people's dreams and build scholarship funds for students who are dreamers, who actually want to be entrepreneurs, who want to create a path for their families and create generational wealth for their families. It's a bigger picture. That was my calling from the beginning, ever since I was a kid. So I see that this is a way. This is one of many ways, but this is a fun way for me. So I just want to see this come to life, and I believe that's my purpose of life, is to create opportunities for others. It's not about me anymore. I think I was a little selfish in the beginning of this, but now this is more of the bigger picture, so that's where I see 5 to 10 years from now, I see Flox doing big things in a major way, gathering the community, doing great things, and passed down to other generations and generations. That's how I see it. Absolutely. I say for kids or anybody, from kids to grown adults, it's never too late. If you have that fire, do it. The last thing you need to do is live with regrets. To sit in your bed and ponder, it doesn't do you any good. And when you're on your deathbed, I think I have an ability to see my future. All right, I think it's a gift that I have. I actually see myself at 80 years old looking back. I really do. I always, if you have that feeling, if you can envision yourself from 80 years old and you're about to die, the last thing you want to do is say, I should have done this. That's the biggest fear of mine. I want to go out running until I can't run anymore. So I want everyone out there to know that you can do it. You can definitely do it. I haven't made it yet per se, but success is defined however you want to define it. But at least you gave it a shot. Just do it. Don't have the idea sit in your mind. Envision it, execute it. Put it out there and just go for it. And don't think that it's the end all. Use your resources. There's resources all around you. You just don't know how to find it. Open your mouth. Start talking to people. Talk to strangers. You can walk at a bar right now. If you want to go to a restaurant, sit at a bar and talk to somebody about, this is for adults now. If you're over 21, okay, and you're at a bar, I did this myself. I would talk to everyone. What do you do? How'd you do it? When did you start it? What was your obstacles? I would learn from each and every individual how they started their business. And I was eager to learn. I learned from their mistakes. I learned from their success. And guess what? I made a great contact, because they may be a great mentor one day. They may have, an idea that it can help me out, it's not over. Your resources are all around you. You can do it. So for everyone who has dreams, do it. Don't ponder about it. Just do it. You're going to have haters along the way. They're sitting and waiting on the sideline, screaming at you. Do it. Who cares? They're the ones going to be 80 years old saying I should have. Who cares about them? Who cares about their feelings? Just do you. You can do it, and I'm here. So if anybody who's out there, whoever needs to sit down and have a chat, they can email me, they can call me, DM me. I'm gonna brainstorm with you. I'm here for the people. I don't care if this doesn't work. It's all right. Everything gonna be all right. So just go for it. Go for your dreams. Yeah. For me, parting words is that I first of all, I appreciate everyone. For me, I'm very empathetic. I look at people. I like to live through people. So I just want to say I thank my wife for actually being patient with me first. She actually gave me the ability to, find myself again. She let me have my moments. So I appreciate her every step of the way, and I love her to the moon and back, and I appreciate God for actually giving me the ability to have that fire again, to instill it right back into my system again, and I appreciate that. I appreciate my friends and all of my supporters who believe in the dreams. I believe in them, and I just generally believe in everybody. If you are like me and you feel like you're different, you feel like, you want to do something great, I believe in you. You can do it. If this is who you are, stick to it, be true to yourself, and go for your dreams.